Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're very much welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. So today I want to talk about how some institutions, some companies, some organizations take advantage of the fact that there are so many unemployed youths or so many unemployed people in Cameroon to extort money from them, or to scam them, as I can choose to call it, because there are so many of these organizations coming up with different kinds of programs, asking youths to pay a certain amount of money for training, and this money is just meant to enrich them. At the end of the day, not up to half of these youths actually get employed. Well, I'll just take a typical example of myself. In 2013, when I just graduated from the University of Boya, there was this organization CIFADEC. They wanted people for election observation. So as an excited new graduate, I knew that was a great opportunity for me to start making money for myself. So first we needed to pay 15,000 francs as a fee. I don't know what that fee was, but we needed to pay that 15,000 francs into Express Union. And after you get your receipt, you're supposed to attach this receipt to the rest of your documents, and then you can send to the organization. So I went, paid 15,000, did all that, sent the documents to the organization. Very soon, after some time, they sent, I think they called, letting us know that we're going to start training in Bamenda. So when I went to the first day, went for where our training, for the training actually, there were about 15 to 20 people there. No, like 20 to 25 people, I remember, because these people had come from different parts of the northwest region. Some people had come from villages. I remember we even had the oldest person, about a 50-year-old man there, who had come to participate in the training. So after the first day, when our teacher came, he told us, oh, you have to pay for the training. And we're like, no, but you didn't tell us that. We thought that 15,000 was going to include everything. He said, no, according to what the organization has told him, and this is the paper, he showed us a paper that was signed, we need to pay 30,000 francs each for training. So now we're like, okay, no, let's forget about this 30,000. Let's look at the big picture. I mean, it's an organization and we're going to be doing election observation. So of course, we're going to be paid good money. So I went home. I remember I was thinking to myself, like, well, how do I just tell my mom I need 30,000 for this kind of thing? So I had been saving for myself because I wanted to make my holiday fun. So I had some 30,000 I'd been saving back in school because I wanted to use it maybe when I'm hanging out with friends or when I need to buy one or two things from the market. So I said, oh, I can use this my savings because I will have something bigger in the near future. So I didn't even bother telling my mom. All she knew was I'd paid 15,000 because she was the one who gave me the money for the 15,000. So I went, paid the 30,000. The others went and looked for 30,000, came and paid. Some borrowed, came and paid. We did election observation training for 1 week. After 1 week, when our teacher left, I think about 2 weeks later, a list was published and they called us to go check out the list. Guess what? By my name, I saw Langua Ansel Lenyo and I saw 5,000 francs. So I was wondering, like, what's this 5,000 francs for? And then they put me at some post, like that's where I was supposed to carry out my election observation, where I was supposed to be an observer. Some people had 10,000 francs by their name. So I was like, this doesn't even add up for transport and all of that. Like, what is the explanation for my name and 5,000 francs? So we tried to find out more information, and they told us that as we've paid that, as they've given us that money, we're supposed to go to those election observation posts and do a observation and write a report and send, and then after the report they are going to look at it and then they will be able to give us some money. So we're like, but this money you're giving us doesn't even cover for anything. So I remember everybody was so mad. We all gathered, wrote a letter to the organization. Everybody came, wrote their names and signed. Everybody was so mad, like, what is all this? 45,000 just gone and you're writing 5,000 by some people's names, 10,000 by some people's names. So everybody was so mad. We wrote that letter, sent to them, but until today we never heard anything. So imagine that training was happening in all the different regions of the country, not just in the northwest region, like not just in Pamela. So imagine what those people did to these youths who were eager to find something doing. And that's how there are other organizations doing the same thing. I remember a fellow Cameroonian YouTuber, Emmanuel Sanye. I'll leave Emma's Top 10, that's the YouTube channel name. He spoke about an organization, an American organization, Remember Africa, that apparently asked them to pay $125,000 for a training that was supposed to take 6 months, and they did the training, yet they were not recruited. And the worst thing I heard is that they had to pay financial sanctions, as in if you were asked to do something and you do not do it, you had to pay financially. If you came late, you had to pay financially. Seriously. And apparently the Remember Africa organization has been moving around everywhere on CRTV. They've been everywhere, and there are lots of youths that have been a part of this program, have given 125,000, and until today they have not been recruited. Like, how does the government let this happen? I think the government really needs, like, there are so many problems in Cameroon, but this really is something that the government should see how they can handle. Organizations should not just come up and give themselves big names, claim to be American organizations or claim to be NGOs and all of that, and they are just given access to do whatever they want. They are actually making the situation worse than it already is. So I just want all of us to be careful. I mean, if you're a youth, you're searching for a job, be careful. I mean, and there was another job someone posted in one of my WhatsApp groups. It was a UN job where they needed UN volunteers. Seriously, guys, if you see a UN job and it doesn't go to un.org, or if you go to the UN job list on UN job and it's not having un.org and you don't see any of those jobs, please don't try to waste your time. So apparently these people needed you to send your documents to unvolunteers@gmail.com. That doesn't happen. There is no United States Embassy job, for example, that will need you to send your documents to a US Embassy at gmail.com. Those things are not possible. It must be at state.gov. So you need to be able to tell the difference. And most of these, like the one I saw on the UN volunteers, when they said at unvolunteers@gmail.com, then next stage I saw a fee. They were asking for a processing fee of how much. All those things are scams. You see some, I've seen others where they talk about people paying money to travel to Canada, probably for some job. They say they want to process your documents. Guys, it doesn't work like that. If you have your internet, please don't use it only for WhatsApp or Facebook. Use it to research. If you see any job on from any organization, go online. If you cannot find that job on the organization's website, then that job is not legit. And no big organization will ask you for money to get you a job. It doesn't work like that. We need to be careful. These organizations, we really need to be careful. We are job seeking, we are vulnerable, and they are taking advantage of our vulnerability. So I just thought to share what my experience was, and I also remembered Emmanuel's experience, and there's the experience of many other people. I've seen people who've given hundreds of thousands to NGOs hoping to get a job, and at the end of the day they are nothing. We really need to stand up against such behavior and to decry all of this. You have to be careful. If you're job seeking, you need to be careful where you send your documents, who holds your documents. Make sure everything you're applying for is legit, and do not give your money to anyone for any purpose. I don't think there's any real organization that will be asking you for money to employ you. If they want to employ you and you're not competent enough, it's okay for them not to employ you. Those who find you competent will employ you without you giving them any money. So you need to be careful. There are so many of them I've come across, and I'm always like, oh my god, I know many people will fall victim to this. So you just need to be careful. So yes guys, so that was all I wanted to talk about today. Just cautioning our youth, our young people who are job seeking. So that ends my video. See you next Wednesday. Remember, I post with videos every Wednesday, so next Wednesday I'll be here with another video for you. Click the like button, the notification bell, the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, and please keep coming back every Wednesday. Ciao, bye.